Good evening, and welcome to this evening's Master Lecture, brought to you by Virtualanimators. We are all so happy all of you are here with us tonight. I have the sincere pleasure of introducing this one-of-a-kind artist who has acquired fame, recognition, and the respect for designing some of the most beloved animated characters of our time. The artistic level of the work he has produced is of the highest caliber, and the best way to describe his work is nothing short of amazing. Without further ado, please help me give a very warm welcome to our guest this evening, Chen-Yi Chang.
Hello, guys.
Can you hear me okay?
Okay, guys. Okay, this is my first time doing a presentation online, so it's a bit awkward. Just so you know. I would actually encourage you guys to interrupt me with questions, and because I really want to be helpful. So interrupt me with questions anytime you want, and of course we'll have some Q&A in the end as well, and hopefully we got time for some demonstration as well. Okay. So basically, I'm going to just show you guys my work, from many years ago to now, and there's also works that we'll see. If we have time, then I'll show because some of them are not public yet. But we'll see. And as for our purpose, I think the drawing gesture is more important than those sophisticated line shadow rendering. And of course, some traditional portrait art. Being able to draw solid, I think is a required skill, like for a designer. So this is what I would like to say. But on the other hand, I have to say, I've seen a lot of artists who draw really well, realistically, but somehow when they do cartoon, they cannot do it. And that is because I don't have an example here, but graphic design. So you need to study traditional, classical, live drawing at the same time, graphic design, because animation is a communication tool. So it's not just to being able to draw well and realistically, but also being able to create a character, a tool for expression, and that means a strong graphic statement. So, and this is also for Mulan, and there's some costume exploration here, and let's say Mushu, we start to narrow down to a certain style, some graphic statement. In the case of Mulan, it's the wedges and the S curves. The S curves dominant, the line language, in drawing those characters, and hopefully audience can sense something kind of unique. And this is when it closer to the final character design. When I start to find the language I want for the show, as you can see, on this later design of Mulan, the S curve becomes very strong graphic statement in the style of character design. And then that also applied to the incidental characters. Whether it's the emperor, it's the other Han's henchman, the main ancestor, the matchmaker, or all those some village little girls. And so this is all based on a style that I discovered while working on it through time and enforce it. So, and doing visual development, it's probably the best job I ever had, because you don't have you know, because you are not working on production, you know, there, I mean, it's, you know, it's like a playground. No, it's almost like, yeah, you're playing every day and not working, because especially in the early stage of a pre-production, you know, it's really free form. You know, no one tell you exactly what to do. So whatever you feel like you can help the production, you know, and then the director and producer agree with, you know, what you want to do, then yeah, you know, anything goes. So this is like thumbnail sketches that I did for Mulan, you know, just to suggest some possible, you know, dramatic moments. So this is a big part of, you know, this dev as well. You know, like from the left corner, you know, that's the betrothal sequence that Mulan used to have. And there's some battle scenes and, you know, assassination scene. And then, yeah, there's some, yeah, we used to have characters that did not end up, you know, on the screen, you know, in the end. And this is more of some, you know, visual development for Mulan. And, you know, like say the thumbnail in the middle, but it's probably not very easy to see, you know, like Chen-Yi break through the roof and come to attack Mulan. Yeah, it's just a thumbnail, you know, just to show something might be really cool to have for the, you know, for that action scene. And it, yeah, the idea will, I mean, yeah, will, is eventually end up, you know, for the film. You know, this viz dev that looks like illustration who try to, you know, illustrate, you know, the story points out, and this is really helpful in knowing, you know, what could happen, you know, visually, and what would make a good picture, you know, visually. So this is and anything can happen at this stage, you know, even though there's a script, the script is only for reference, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. So like this version, like Gang Han allowed me to do what I think, you know, would make a great movie, even though it all got thrown out eventually. So, and this is for another show that, again, I try to, you know, those cats and the king and the queens, you know, this is, I try to, instead of draw with pen, I approach it with a brush, you know, with paints, and I found that, you know, kind of liberating as well. So media also help us create style. So choose a media that you feel comfortable or you like to explore with, then you might find something is interesting or you feel comfortable with, or you found it expressive to you. So to me, it's just it's a challenge.
Chen-Yi, we have another question.
So this and this is for
our participant Raquel would like to ask if you can briefly talk about the artists who have influenced you.
Oh, me? Oh my God, my a lot. I have to say, you know, if you start to work in the industry, I would say, you know, carefully pick the show that you start, you know, in your career. That's going to influence you for the rest of your life. Because when you start, you know, before you start, when you graduate, you know, you're like a piece of paper. So whoever put on the first mark on this piece of paper will influence you for the rest of your life. So make sure you choose. But it's really helpful. If you put designs in action, then you see what works and what doesn't quite work. So you can find problems, you know, sooner, you know, before it getting to production. So anyway, this is some of that, and yeah, again, study and caricature. You know, for a hot dog vendor in New York, I ask around. They keep saying, you know, they're all kind of like Mid-Eastern, you know, immigrants, you know, selling hot dog. So I study a lot of them and try to make one like, you know, like this one. You know, I try to approach a nice, you know, kind of nice and interesting looking, you know, Mid-Eastern, you know, guy, and also the one kind of Mexican looking, you know. Right, but yeah, for some reason, to be safe, yeah, they prefer a white guy eventually. And yeah, again for bold, and this is again, this is also one of the early penny, you know, quite different. Show and under different director. And anyway, these are supposed to be computer game characters. For CG animation, as I said, you work with the modeler most of the time. A lot of back and forth, and a lot of good modeler can get it right away. And sometimes modelers, because they can change things easily, they can also, and sometimes some modelers, they like to create variations as well for the directors. You know, like for let's say How to Train Your Dragon. You know, Nicolas Mallet did a great job on the character, but when the character got taken to the modeling department, you know, it actually got changed. You know, Nicolas Mallet's design it becomes more like an inspiration. It got changed, and there's some sophistication that CG has, and that process of addition, you know, to creating a character is really valuable. Yeah.
Lecture. We want to thank you again, Chen-Yi, for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. And if you can just briefly look at the chat area, you'll see the participants' comments as well and reaction.
Okay, so and thank you all for coming, and hopefully, you know, this is helpful to you. You know, if you are interested in, you know, doing character design, you know, for animation. Yeah, you know, all I know in my life, I can talk about in probably 4 hours. And thank you, and yeah, thank you. All right, thank you.